Hi guys, welcome to my Flosstube. My name is Emily, Crafty Emily here on YouTube, and I'm back. I think it's been 9 or 10 days since I last posted a video. Well, it's been 10 days. It's the 10th of It's the 10th of November today, so we are a third of the way through November already. Crikey, we are hurtling towards the end of the year, and a proper whip parade this year, I believe. I'm trying to think of what to do next year. I've been watching other people's like 2023 plans and things, and I'm thinking, right, I'm going to keep it really simple next year because this year's been an absolute rocket roller coaster for me. So I've thinned down my whips dramatically. I think I'm going to go even simpler next year, but take it 1 month at a time, I think. So I'm possibly looking at 12 projects, of which I have 58, around ballpark 55 to 58 projects to choose from at the moment, minus the one perma project, which I will work on consistently until the end of time. It will be done. Anyway, I'm going to show you some cross stitch. So today I have just 3 pieces of cross stitch to show you. I didn't think I'd made any progress, but I've just screenshot my pictures from my last video to crop down to send up, so when I go, here is a picture, it's from my last video, and you know exactly that is where I was when I recorded. And yeah, it turns out I've made a bit more progress than I probably thought I had. I've got my crazy knitting jumper to show you, and I have got shop update news and a little giveaway. So right to the end. Won't be a long video, I shouldn't think, but if you go right to the end, there is a little giveaway for this little man here, who I rather like. Okay, stitching. I'm a cross stitcher. I am a crafter. Oh no, before my stitching, monumental news from me. This and YouTube. I went from this a few days ago to this presently. Thank you guys. I'm very obliged to you. I've been on here just over 2 years, and to have 2,000 subscribers is bananas. The last couple of hundred has gone on very, very quickly, and I just enjoy listening to the sound of my own voice, it appears. No, I've got used to that. Anyone who's started a Flosstube knows the panic of having to listen back as you listen to see what mistakes you've made and if you need to cut anything out. I used to edit a lot. Now, if you know me and you know my style, I am start here and I go through. I will insert pictures. Occasionally I will stop the video and put in a clip and put it back on, because I don't even like splicing. I use a very, very simple free. I use UCut. It is free. You don't have to get the pro version, which you pay for. That is what I use to edit my videos. Look at my poor screen. Can you see? Look. Oh dear. The big crack across there. And look here, the colour's starting to... Still not backed up. Oh, I live on the edge. Anyway. Yeah, I don't do anything fancy. I insert pictures. I sometimes put in little clips. Other than that, you get what you get with me. You get a one cut, blah, it's done. I watch other people's very professional operations and I go, good on you. Absolutely brilliant. Good on you. I don't have time. This is me grabbing. I've had my normal days off. 2 weeks now I've had my normal days off. I still look bloody shattered. But that's just my winning demeanour, you know. I am what I am. Yeah, I don't have time for anything too fancy. So I have now got 2,000 subscribers, and I thank you very much. And in this next week, 1, I will rustle together a small prize, which will be up for grabs next video. And 2, this week, I'm a shitty human. I am going to post, hold your breath guys, my 1,000 subscriber prize, which I still have. I owe 4 people a package, and I can only apologise. I've just fallen down the brain fart. It's almost like I have anxiety about it, and I don't know why. But I'm going to package and post them in this next week. I'm not going to do my subscriber giveaway until I have posted. Now, I'm wondering if I might do a Google form, because I do like giving away little things, and when you a little giveaway from me is something I have made. My giveaways are something I've made and occasionally patterns I've been given. But I do like doing it, and I'd like to continue to do it. But that my issue is dredging people's addresses out of messages, actually physically putting the item in the packet and doing it. So if I put a Google form up, I know lots of the other Flosstubers do it. Would you mind awfully? I'd never do anything sinister with any of it. I promise, I swear. But if people wouldn't mind, I think I might put a Google form on, just so that I've got no excuse, you know? Because I appear to be full of crappy excuses. So there's that. Stitching. Let's do some stitching. Anyway, really thanks. If you're subscribing and you come back and watch, I tend to consistently get about 1,000 views now on my videos, and that just blows your mind. It's bananas. I do apologise if you do get adverts before my videos. If you ever get adverts in the middle, let me know and I will have a word with YouTube, because I am not monetised. I will not monetise. I've got 2,000 subscribers. There's no point me monetising for that. There's really not. But if you get the adverts before are unavoidable. YouTube put them on whether you like it or not. But I can control what goes in. So if you ever get adverts in the middle, please do let me know, because you shouldn't. And just know that this is my hobby, and you support me by watching me and being nice to me, and occasionally maybe going to my Etsy shop and buying something. But again, that's so that you have something as well, if you see what I mean. Anyway, I am now going to, we are 7 minutes in, and I am now going to show you some stitching. So my perma piece is my treasure hunt bookshelf, super size, max colour. It's my 10-year project. I am in month 7. I am currently at 6.25, I think, %. So I've done a quarter of this month's stitching in a third of this month's time. So I need to pull my finger out and do some, but I can show you clearly where I've been working. My picture is here from last video, and here I am now. So I've put in a lot of 823, a lot of 823. I have put in a lot of this star, and these colours carry here, so I put in a lot of those. And then I've put in quite a few of the reds here are also the reds here, so I've done them here and then gone over there. And looking here at my ship, I've put in quite a few colours here. Now what I do, oh, I scrumpled it up. Scrumpled up paper doesn't usually go very far in my room. What I do when I'm at work and I've got a couple of minutes, I might go and sit outside and not smoke, because I don't smoke, but the chefs usually sit outside and smoke, but I don't. I sit outside and look at my pattern keeper. And if it's a glorious day and I really need a few minutes, I will sit and do a couple of stitches, but not very often. I don't usually get a lot of time to actually do that. But I look at my pattern keeper and I get a scrap of paper, usually an order slip, you know, like something you write down orders on, and we have a printer now that prints to the kitchen, but we still write our orders, so I've got a little order pad, and I'll write down, what I'll do is I'll go through my pattern keeper and I'll go, right, I want to fill in this star, and I'll highlight each of the symbols, and I'll write down the colour, and I'll maybe write down 12 colours, and when I get home I go, right, I need 669, I need this one, I need this one, I need 5012, I need and I'll pull each colour from my list, find it on my pattern keeper, and then I'll do the stitches generally within the area I'm stitching on. So I did that the other night, and I put in, I think, 13 colours, which was most of these, some of the reds and a couple of blues, and then I did a whack of 823 because the 823, I think there's a pair of curtains coming in here. I actually every day, the brown-eyed stitcher, who's lovely, she is working, she's done the whole of the top. This is the top row. She's halfway through it, but she is now coming this way to meet this bit, I think. I think she's coming this way to meet this bit. So I think she's about here going that way, and I'm about here going this way, right at the start of my journey. And it's really cool to see the other side of what I'm getting to. But I'm trying not to stitch too much on this bit because I really want to fill in a lot of these little itty bitty gappies. That bit is filled. I think the first few gaps are just here in the side of my lighthouse, but I really must go back and fill them in. And they're all 1 or 2 stitches of a colour, which is great, and it's great to get them done. But if I'm trying to do 280, 300 stitches a day, I have to have a bulk. So 823 is currently being my bulk soak. So I'll put in 150 stitches of that in an hour or 3/4 of an hour. Really fast banging stitches there. And then I'll go beep, 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 with like 6 colours, which takes a lot of time, but my goodness me, it looks so good. Anyway, I've done 1/4 of the stitches and 1/3 of the time. Need to get on with that. Obviously, that is charted by Haid. I'm on a 10-year plan. I say it every time, and I'm 7 months in. It's actually an 8-year, 10-month plan, but obviously I've built myself 12 extra months in because at some point I will drop the ball. I can't imagine that in 10 years' time, or in 8 years' time, I'll be here I go, guys. I'm on the last little bit. I am nearly there. I think I'm going to be, no, I'm not so high. I missed a few months here and there. We all do. Right, the next thing I'm going to show you is my opening gambit. I'm going to open my pattern keeper and find out for you here. Oh, it's up 86.34%. It's probably 86.4% now because I did do a few in the car this morning. 86%. I'm going to take my clamps off bottom here so I can show you. Last time it was here, and this time it is here. I am that much off finishing it. Pick up the colour properly, please. There. It's 3808, B-Stitch Me, Berry, Cobbler, which I was gifted. All my fancy fabrics have been presents, but this just seemed to jump with. And now I'm at the bottom. You can see my false start where I started on hand-dyed fabric. There's always a plainer side and a prettier side. You can see that so very clearly. Look at all the mottling there, and that side is very pretty but doesn't have the detail. This was face up in the dye, and that was face down in the dye, so that got a more even coat, and the top had more scrunch. And it is 3808. So what I did, I have filled in my dragon here and the teapot, and I have filled in the dog. He still needs to do his tail, and then all the pawns here and along the bottom. And I ended up stitching this little bird facing the other way. He is meant to face that way. He is now facing this way because all my mistakes are compounding themselves. All the counting mistakes, the fact that when you loaded this one particularly into Pattern Keeper, you lost a whole line, every vertical line that when it took into Pattern Keeper, every vertical page break, it missed out one line of stitching, and I didn't realise until I'd got all the way across the top and had set the width, and it is 3 stitches too short. So there's a fair few mistakes, like this little birdie here, this little kiwi bird. Look at the length of his beak. He should have a 4-5 stitch long beak, he's got a 2 stitch long beak, because as you stitch more, the mistakes compound. So I am setting these guys correct with the bottom of this big triangle. So he is placed correctly for my pattern keeper, but then these are all a bit scrunched. So this little birdie wouldn't have fitted pointing this way. So I flipped him, because his tail sits nicely against the leg. And equally, I'm having a bit of trouble fitting this. Oh my God, what's it called? It's the whistle. The chest piece that's the whistle. I can't remember its name. The knight? The knight. I don't know. This thing. This thing here. There's one here. I don't think it's a pawn. I think it's longer. I'm having a bit of trouble fitting him in with this pawn here. So I am just, you can see I've set the distance there, but I'm going to have to change up how these look, because you can see my counting. I'm trying to work out what shape to make them so that they don't touch, but the mistakes are there. I'm going to, when I finish here, this bit here, I'm going to pick back up and stitch the other half of this chameleon and come down, and then I'll join my border, and then I'll stitch this bit down, and then whatever's left here I'll probably have to do a fair bit of fudging in there as well. But never mind, we are 86%, we are nearly there, and I'm pushing for a finish on this, and I will be utterly thrilled to have it done. And when I have it done, I might just get it framed. I might treat myself and get a professional frame made for it, which would be lovely, wouldn't it, to actually get one framed. I really need quilts framed as well. I'm hankering after getting quilts framed. There we go, opening gambit, Long Dog Sampler. Now, if you follow Long Dog Sampler's, the actual Facebook page, every day Jules is posting something old but new, and she's posting 9. We're on day 2, and so far we've had 2 beautiful pictures of smallish samplers, and we're on day 2. I imagine that when we get to day 9, they're going to go up on the website. She has put, go if you love long dogs and you have. I went on the website yesterday, again in one of my little breaks, and there are different patterns available. A couple here and there. You've got to literally trawl through, scroll, and something there that's I've not seen before. And I know the website well enough to know when something's different. And they're not the new releases. They're old. They're like, they've got dates on them like 2012 and 2016 and things. So I assume they're things she's released before she was pandemic huge, didn't get a lot of sales and took them off. Or maybe back then before the website was big, she didn't sell a lot of paper copies, so pulled them. So she's been very active on her page at the moment, and which is really good, because if you leave a comment, you get a comment back from Jules. I did this morning, and she replied to me, and I was like, because it's always like super exciting, isn't it? Anyway, so I think we're going to get a treat. I don't know if they're going to be a collection of these 9 patterns that we can buy as a collection together, or whether she's going to list them all individually. I don't know yet, but I assume they're going up for sale. So keep an eye on her Facebook page, which is just Long Dog Samplers. Obviously you see the long dog icon and you know it's her. And yeah, there's something coming, as well as some old releases that are back on the web or on the website. Nothing's pulled me dramatically yet. I scrolled yesterday, and Ragnarok, help, sorry, my Scandinavian friends, is still the one that's pulling me the fastest. So I'm going to have to stitch that soon. I did buy some fabric. I did buy some sulky, didn't I? Oh yeah, I was going to dye the fabric. Oh, I should have done it. I should have done it when I dyed this. Progress. Yeah, but there's something coming from Long Dogs. and I think they're going to be good, and I think they're going to be old, and there's already a couple of little ones turned up on the website that I like the look of. There's a birth sampler that I'm sure I've never seen before, and a wedding sampler which is just so simple but so nice, and it's not Game of Swans, it's something that so people do that one a lot as a wedding sampler. It's just really nice, but I hadn't seen it. I'm sure I haven't seen it before. Anyway, my last piece of cross stitch for today. That was my little sidey swipe into Long Dog Samplers. Keep an eye on her page. We're on day 2, day 3 tomorrow. We'll see what she posts, but I'm hoping we get either a collection or all the patterns individually going up on the website would be brilliant, because she's so big now that she'll sell old patterns, whereas before she's probably gone, oh, I put in all that work into that sampler and sold 12 copies. Whereas now she'll put it on the website and she might sell several hundred, or a couple of thousand copies of something just like that. Brilliant. Okay, so my third stitch for the week is Moon Dragon Moon. I've forgotten. Anyway, I gave you all the details last week. It's on my last. Give me 2 seconds and I'll just find it. I bought it on Etsy. Oh crikey! I've taken a lot of photographs for Etsy myself. Okay, Moon Dragon, silver X stitches. And it's really lovely. It will look like this when it's done. I showed you last week the whole process of me murderously dying over 2 failed attempts at a start of my treasure hunt bookshelf, which I'm not sad at all about for killing, because I did kill it. And the Ada is beginning to yield. Considering how many times it's been through my washing machine and tumble dryer, it is beginning to yield. So here is a picture of where it was last time. Now, I didn't think I'd done very much on this. I have gone from I'm just fussing with Pattern Keeper. There it is. I think I've got 2,500 stitches in, and I'm now, well, today I will hit 6,000. So 3,500 stitches maybe this in the last 10 days, which isn't that much. It isn't that much. Anyway, today, so I've shown you a picture of what it looked like before. Today, oh sorry, I've got a thread, I've got my needle on, and I think it looks very much better viewed through a photograph, so I'm hoping it looks really good on the screen, because up close it looks pixely, but as soon as you look at it from a distance, it looks like this. It's quite hard to show. Oh, look at its teeth, look at its nose. Oh my god, isn't it marvellous? So lots of random blues that looked a bit clunky and chunky, and on Pattern Keeper it's blue. When it's filling in its colours, it's blue, but it is beautiful. And you can see here, there's my light bit, and you can see that the dragon's going to cover. It's going that way to cover. So what I decided to do was start from the tip of the nose and the tip of the moon, and I'm basically going full on filling in as I go. And the only thing I am not stitching is the 310 background. So I am literally just getting to the edge, and then when it goes 310, if there's anything on the edges, the 939s and the 823s, I'm stitching them. But as soon as it switches to 310, I stop. There is 310 in his nostril. There's 310 in his closed little sleepy eye that looks almost eyelashy. There is some 310 in his sleeping teethy mouth. So I'm doing the 310 obviously that is stitching, but I am not stitching the background, which is this, as you can see, the darkest, grubbiest navy blue with random splodges. But this weird fold bit here, that will be lost in it, as will the rest. So it's going to come up here to there. I don't think it's going much higher. I think that's probably going to be in the frame, this light bit here, but me being me, I'll probably take a Sharpie pen to it if it sticks out too much. But So I'm currently wrestling with a big piece of fabric, and all I do with that is I just flap it down, tuck it over. I've shown you these before. These are just Q-snaps I've made myself with plumber's overflow pipe. I've used the 11 by 11 side and got a couple of extra. In this country they're called Flowplast. That's the brand of pipe and pipe fittings. So 90-degree corners. I have super glued them. I then put a bit of ribbon on because I couldn't wait for the super glue to cure. So I just stuck ribbon on just so that I could get stitching. So it sucked up the super glue. So, and then all I bought was replacement 17 for a 17-inch. These are R&R craft frames. They're just very easy to get from Lakeside Needlecraft, the replacement things. You can equally buy Q-snap sides. I have, on one of my pieces I'm stitching on all the time, I have, it is actually this piece. These are Q-snaps. So on this entire frame is made from bits of pipe that I bought. So this is a cobble together. These are replacement Q-snaps for an 11. They are replacement R&Rs for a 17. And I've just made it myself with pipe, super glue, hacksaw, and some 90-degree corners. So that's the top edge of the fabric. I clip it in, and then because that's now got two layers of fabric, that makes that good and tight. And I do that a lot. Look, I've got the same there. The sides don't need it because they're new Q-snaps and they're super tight. And then as I sit with it on my knee, that bit just flops down across my knees so I don't catch my fabric. And I am gridding kind of as I go with this funny Gutermann filament, which works beautifully. And I have removed it just to prove to myself it came out. I did remove it from his face last night. I took the verticals, and I think the horizontals are still in. Yes, but I took the verticals out last night just to prove to myself that it slides out, and it really does. You can stitch all over it and it just slides out, which is really good news. So he is looking beautiful, my little sleepy dragon there. Oh, I'm so pleased with him. So coming week again, 3 pieces. Maybe get to 90% on opening gambit. Hopefully get to the 0.5% because it'll be the middle of the month plus a little bit by the time I record another video. This one I'm going to really try not to go more than the 7 days because I have a giveaway and a shop update, and I'm giving myself a fixed time scale to do this because obviously I'd like to sell some things before Christmas, because we're all going to have a bit of a toughy Christmas this year. So there's reasoning, but it was time as well. I needed to get some stuff made. And to that end, I put some pictures up on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen them. I put them on my main account, which is simply Emily Brind. Can't miss me. Well, you can miss me, but it's I'll put it along here for those who don't follow me on Instagram. Please do. I don't post very often. Sometimes I post a lot and sometimes I post not very often, but yesterday I did something really naughty. I took my Fimo to work, all finished. I didn't do anything. I mobilised some old crusty Fimo yesterday afternoon while we were literally waiting for nothing. But I took my Fimo ready to bake because it bakes at a very specific temperature, and my oven at home, I've got a range cooker and the gas oven is broken, and the electric oven has been used to the point where all the numbers have rubbed off the dial, so it's guesswork, which is fine if you're making roast potatoes or doing a pizza or baking a cake. You can guess and it's okay. Fimo is very specific, especially when you use a lot of translucent Fimo, which I do because I love the effect of it. By Fimo I mean polymer clay, which is what a lot of my needle minders are made of. I have a pink one there. But so it's like plasticine, and you bake it in the oven at a very specific temperature for a very set time. So we've got huge industrial, beautiful ovens at work. I turned it on. I set it to the right temperature. I turned the moisture down to 0. I put them in. I set a timer. Timer went off. Turned off the oven. Took them out, and they were perfect. So against the kitchen door, I took 3 or 4 pictures, which I uploaded to Instagram, and I've had a really good response to them. Thank you very much. I tried something a little different, and I'm going to insert a big picture here of the ones I made and baked, and that is them with magnets on, curing. And there is also a picture here of the single thread drop needle minders. That's the boring side, because that's the side with the magnet on. So that's that side, each one. So these, if you haven't come across these before, I have sold quite a lot before, and I made loads and I lost them. So this is the first batch to be smoothed and ready to go. This is left over from Anzac. This is Dinky Dye Blue Grouper, just for information's sake. So they look like this, and you can attach your thread in a thread drop, and they have a big, much bigger than normal. They're my normal magnets. These are both bigger in diameter and probably 2 millimeters thicker through, and they are really strong, so you can easily hang a full hank of anything off these. Not a full hank of Mrs. Sadis or or Silks for You, admittedly, but a full hank of a Dinky Dye or a DMC or something like that for 1 or 2 colours. You can use this. Idea being that if you're doing a monochrome, I did have one on here, but it got torn off in the car, and by torn I mean torn. I think it was a foot. I'm a very scruffy human being. Things get hoid in the back. My kids knock them on the floor. My kids walk all over them. It was my fault. But the idea being that you put it in somewhere along your work. It works as your needle minder, and your thread is there. So you can just pull one strand out and carry on. When I sold them before, they were very, very popular. They sold out very, very quickly. This time I'm going for a staggered approach this time, because the shop update will be okay, but there will be probably about 20 of these going up, and then when I've magneted up another 20, all I'm doing at the moment is just smoothing carefully by hand. Obviously by hand, they're handmade. I just get a very, very fine sandpaper and go round here so that it doesn't snag your thread, because for me that's vital. If I'm going to sell something, it's got to be something I would happily use myself. So you get the two, an ordinary magnet, very strong magnet, always got a pretty, they are random, you'll get whatever I glue to it. I glue them all together, face down, you get what you get. So you get a pretty glass cabochon. Quite equally, you can wear them as long as you don't have a pacemaker. My God, please don't pin them to yourselves if you've got a pacemaker. Don't have them anywhere near you. But you know, if you're a stitcher with a pacemaker, that you can't use needle minders, because these magnets, they're neodymium, whatever they are, they're not meant for. They interfere with the electrical signals in pacemakers. And I assume... Oh, well, this is entertaining. Appears my video jammed. Great. So time has passed, and I am back. I was editing my video and listening back to it, as you do, and inserting the pictures as you do, and I got to 37 minutes, and all of a sudden the screen was just me going like that, which you've just seen. So I'm back to finish off my video. I've been in the shower, so I'm just putting my hair up, getting ready to go out and do a bit of shopping. And now I need to come back and finish my video. Can't quite remember what I was talking about. So the light has changed. It's now raining and windy, and what was a nice clear day is now not so very nice. So there we go. Hair is still stupidly long, still not been cut. going on for 12 years or so or something now. Anyway, I was talking about the magnets on needle minders. Yeah, be careful with them, but anybody who knows, I feel a little bit blurry. Again, I'm looking in the wrong place. Give me 2 seconds. That might be better, might be worse. Anyway, yeah, be careful if you have a pacemaker. And I was just musing whether the hearing aids were the same thing with the needle minder magnets. Goodness sakes, just be careful with them. But, okay, so I did lose my thread completely. Yeah, the little bunnies, the little giveaway, is I think the only thing I forgot to, I got lopped off the end of that. I still managed to talk for 10 minutes, so who knows. Anyway, don't mind me while I do this. So, my little bunnies, which are hand knitted, and I will just put one more pin in my hair and I'll be done. And just there. Right, these little guys. So, you have a hand knitted bunny. He is knitted in the round. He is my own little pattern. He is a fluffy alpaca. Those who've watched me for a while will remember me happily getting hold of a whole pile of yarn from Wool Warehouse. Here's his little face. So this little guy is up for grabs this time. There are 15 others. I'll put a picture in just here. There we go. We've suddenly just sharpened up. It suddenly decided it can focus. Of the other 15, there's black ones, white ones, lots of little brown ones, some fluffy, some smooth. I found some I'd had already made from before. They have all got a split ring, not a jump ring, so it shouldn't pull out, because my little pig that's on my scissors is just a jump ring, and every now and again it catches and opens and I have to put it back on, which I don't mind doing, but if you've not got jewelry pliers or so anyway, split rings now, much better. And a little Millefori heart bead there, which is very pretty, and a nice big lobster claw. So go on, quite big scissors or any keychain, any zipper pull, anything. Pretty good. There's 15 more of these. This one here will be given away, and 15 others that will be going up on Etsy. Yeah, there's quite a few scissor fobs up there already, various ones, but I don't seem to sell many scissor fobs, but I love them. And you know, I used to go, rubbish, who wants a scissor fob? But actually they're kind of cool when you're like me and you put your scissors down everywhere and they jingle jangle and you find your scissors so much easier. So yeah, so if you want to win this little guy, what I'm going to ask is that you are a subscriber and you let me know you're a subscriber. So the word I will search next week is yes. Just simply yes. Yes, I'm a subscriber. Or just yes. Don't matter. But please leave me a little comment. I'd also like to know whether you'd be happy to fill in a Google form. So you can go yes and yes. Which I'll think about and maybe do. I just think it'll make life easier for me going forwards, especially with December around the corner and possibly Flossmas, because I've done Flossmas the last 2 years and am happy to do Flossmas again, and I'm already thinking about it, and it's quite an undertaking to do a video every day. I generally go through to about Boxing Day. It's a commitment, but for me it's becoming part of Christmas, so give me a yes if you'd like Flossmas. Yes, I'm a subscriber, and actually be subscribed unless you're somebody I know who wins, which happens because a lot of people who watch me and comment, I don't know you, but I know you. you know what I mean. Online's funny. Or I will check that you're a subscriber. I know that sounds terrible, but hey, it is what it is. For a little bunny boy here, I'm going to put him over there so I don't lose him. And yes, I'll be happy to fill in the Google form, or yes please to a Flossmas this year. So those are the yes. One yes will do. 3 yeses will be great, because then I know what I'm doing. And I can't remember what else I was saying. My Etsy shop, which I will probably put on holiday this week, while I put things up in it. Is called Crafty 6. I will put it up here in nice big letters. I will link it below. I don't often link it below. I don't want to ram it down your throats. It's not why I do my Flosstube. I do my Flosstube because I have a hobby that I want to share. The fact that I then started making things for my hobby is just a little sideline, but it's not something you have to. You have obviously no obligation to go and purchase something from me. You have no obligation to subscribe and watch me. It's just something I do. But obviously, yeah. So I think I missed 10 minutes. I think I showed a stamp needle minder because I do have new subscribers and people might not know the things that I make, because my needle minders are slightly more expensive than other people's needle minders because mine are completely handmade. I don't buy a bag of charms off Amazon and stick magnets on them and go handmade needle minders because I use some super glue. My stamp needle minders look like this. So that is a piece of wood which has got the stamp decoupaged on it, and then I cut it and I shape it, and then I resin see, I've got a dome of resin. You might just be able to catch it as it comes over the light there. Just got a dome of resin on top, so that is completely sealed in, and then you get the strong magnet on the back, and always a pretty. Again, they're potluck, could be anything, but they're slightly more expensive because there's a lot of process in that, and they're rather lovely. They're really good. They're strong. I drop them everywhere, and with all the choices that there are, you can always find one. Lots of buildings, always lots of buildings. I love the animals, I love the buildings. I found a full set of Star Wars stamps as well, which I rather liked. I'm not a big fan, but I really like the stamps. And as I was resining some of them, under the UV light, they've got a symbol. You know, that some of them have got symbols hidden in UV, and if they hadn't been put under the resin lamp, I might not have seen them. So there's little cuties in them. Anyway, there's a good selection. There's predominantly British stamps because that's what I can really get my hands on. And I've been sent some Canadian stamps, some Australian stamps, and some beautiful Kiwi stamps from about the 1970s, which I finally got round to opening. I've had them about a year, and oh my goodness, there's some gorgeous ones. I am keeping some for me. And I've got a few other little bundles of stamps knocking around that I haven't quite got to yet, but I'm back doing it, which is good. It's been a crazy year for me, so I feel more in control. I'm back making things. I'm turning the conservatory into a crafting area, which is turning out really well because I have now Fimo and needle minders on every surface, but I'm in process, so I'm making things again. I photographed I photographed how many stamps this morning? This many. These are all individual needle minders. There, that's how many I took photos of this morning. So there's a good chunk that will be going up. They are finished, magneted, back magneted, cabochoned, ready to go. They just need listing. So I need to edit all the photos. I like to crop them down just so that you get a really good picture. And the one in the picture is the one you will get unless I have multiples. I have multiple Queen Elizabeths the first. Let me find a picture of her so you know who I mean. This lady here. That one particularly. I have multiples. I bought a full sheet of mint condition stamps from the 60s. Yeah. So I have multiples of those, which I will say, but they are identical bar the way the resin sits sometimes, you know, that they're identical. So other than that, they're pretty much all, and obviously all my dragon needle minders and the tentacly ones, they are all absolutely one of a kind. If I make two at the same time, they're different. You'll never get two the same. If I use the same snake of Fimo, say this here, See, it's a little bit sparkly, it's a little bit varying colours. So what I do is I will take a piece about yon big, I will shape it into a scale about that size. I need 24 of those to make one dragon needle minder. So I need 24. So it's not, they are very handmade. I've got some green and some red and white. These used to be apples, but the canes got old and brittle, so I've mobilised them, marbled them, and again, they will be. And when I call them apple dragons, as you see, that'll be marbly. I'll call them apple dragons, and we'll know why. And other people will be like, it's not an apple. Why is it called an apple dragon? Because they're made from what was once going to be apples. Have I got something I can cut this in half with? A very scuzzy peanut butter knife. So you see, that ball of Fimo that looked green was going to be an apple. But I will turn that. See, it's been sitting against other Fimo, so it's got bits and chunks, and I will turn that into apple dragons. And I'll show you them again another time. Anyway, guys, I've more than caught myself up. Give me a yes. I'm a subscriber. Give me a yes or no if you want to be, if you wouldn't mind filling in a Google form, and give me a yes or no if you would watch me doing Flossmas. Please leave me a comment if you'd like to be entered into the draw to win that little bunny, and I will see you within 7 days with an Etsy shop that should be functioning. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and supporting me. Honestly, it means the world. It really does. Because at the end of the day, we just have a shared hobby, and it's a lovely hobby, and I really enjoy it, and I'm going to continue showing it until the cows come home. I have finished that treasure hunt bookshelf. I will see you soon, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.